Welcome to another episode of Tastebuds. I'm your host, Neisha Rogers, and today I'm so excited because we are on Georgia Avenue at Little Bear. Accompanying me today is the amazing, exquisite chef, Jarrett Stieber. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having me. This is great.
I'm so excited. Okay, so first question, right? It's an important question, right? Because when you come to the restaurant, you see like this little cute dog logo on the door and you're trying to figure out, okay, why is this place called Little Bear? So I have to ask you, why is it called Little Bear?
Yeah, Little Bear is my wife and I's Great Pyrenees, Fernando. He's enormous and everybody says he looks like a little bear. So we went with that, thinking if we called the restaurant Fernando's, people would think it was like a Spanish or Italian restaurant or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we went with Little Bear.
Okay, very good. Okay, second most important question. What are we cooking today?
All right, so today we are gonna make a couple things currently on the menu. So we have a copy of that here. We're gonna do a tomato and peach salad that's on the menu at the moment, one of my favorite spring things to make.
Okay.
And then we're gonna do a variation on 3-cup chicken, which is a Taiwanese, Chinese chicken dish. Heavily flavored with soy, sesame, and sugar, but we're gonna also blend some cucumber in there and kind of make it a little more southern.
Fun.
Dessert-wise, we're gonna knock out a cream custard. And then to start, I was thinking we can make the Countdown, which is a strawberry cocktail on our menu right now using this cool Mexican rum called Charanda, a little tequila, and then some kind of kooky strawberry tinctures and things that our bar manager Charles Howe put together. So.
Yeah, fantastic. All right, so let's start with the drink.
Cool, let's do it. So we have a pre-batched mix of the Charanda and some Reposado tequila. It's 2 ounces per drink. We're gonna go ahead and double up. All right, so this is a sour strawberry solution.
This way. This is cool.
Yeah, so what we do here, essentially it's the acid build of lemon juice. So we use malic acid and citric acid powder, which are easy to find online. You can just order them and have them around the house.
All right.
And we dissolve it in a certain ratio with strawberry juice to make the strawberry juice taste still like strawberry, but with the acidity of lemon juice.
Gotcha.
And then we got a little bit of 2-to-1 syrup, which just means 2 parts sugar to 1 part water. 2 for the both of us.
Okay.
And then this is strawberry bitters. So grain alcohol infused with strawberry tops and leaves. We make it ourselves in-house.
Wow.
Add a little extra strawberry flavor without sugar. Let me give you some ice in here.
Okay.
And you want to stir it for about maybe 15 seconds or so. We're trying to get it cold, diluted, but not totally watered down.
Gotcha.
Pour a little in, and then if you want to pour some in the other glass, just gotta make sure they're balanced out. I'll grab some big ice cubes. And then the last thing that we do, this is a honeysuckle tincture. So again, grain alcohol steeped with honeysuckles that our bar manager wild forage, and we just do a spray right over the surface.
Oh, fancy.
And that's your drink.
Okay, cool. Oh.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right. That's the countdown. I want you to kind of explain the restaurant. You talked about it a little bit, but really give people an essence of like what they can experience when they come and taste the cuisine that you have to offer, all right? So these 3 words, lovacore, satirical, gastronomica.
Yeah.
Talk about that. What does that mean?
It's a little tongue-in-cheek that I thought would be kind of funny. I've like had this thing where I try to get people to print that if there's ever any press articles about us, and most people like are too scared to.
Okay.
But every now and again somebody will. But yeah, we jokingly call what we do locavore, satirical, gastronomica. Really, it's about being like playful and tongue-in-cheek here. Like we want this to be fine dining, but we want it to be approachable and comfortable.
Gotcha.
So we try to disarm people right away with like a funny menu. We make little jokes on the menu, try to keep it playful. But everything is locally sourced.
So the first thing that we're going to start off with is, for dessert, We're gonna
Yes.
get that going. Talk
Yes.
about that. What are we doing with that?
So we're gonna make a cream custard. It's based on this old medieval custard I read about a while ago called posset. That
Okay.
was basically like cream thickened with soured beer that they were gonna throw away. So
Wow.
the acid, it's sort of like making cheese where it coagulates the milk curds.
All right.
So we'll start by pouring some
This
heavy
is the
cream.
custard.
This is gonna be the custard base.
Right.
It's heavy cream from Southern Swiss dairy. So we'll pour this in a preheated pan and start warming it up. Basically, we're gonna bring it to a scald.
Okay.
And then we do add a little bit of kosher salt because we want everything to taste good.
Oh, wow.
So it's a small pinch, even though it's a dessert.
Fine.
This is citric acid powder. We've used it in cocktail stuff. It's also gonna go in this custard base. Again, easy to find online. This is some sugar as well. So if you wanna add the sugar into the custard
Oh,
base,
God,
while
yes,
I
this is
add
exciting.
some water to this real quick.
Okay.
Just dump it right in.
All right. Do I need to stir?
Yeah, you can give it a little stir, and I'm gonna dissolve the citric acid while you do that.
Okay.
And basically, we're just heating the cream up enough to dissolve that sugar, and so it's not grainy.
Okay.
And then get it to a warm enough temperature where the acid solution added in will start to coagulate it, thicken
Okay.
it. These are gherkins, fresh gherkins. So people think of gherkins as pickles, frequently are.
I like
It's in the cucumber family.
Okay.
These are not pickled, these are fresh from Levity Farms right around here. So we're gonna cut the little tips off that are too woody.
All right. So you've chopped these
Okay,
up.
chopped them up. We're gonna take them and add them into a bowl. You can use a mixing bowl, whatever vessel you want.
Okay. Nice. So these are not pickled.
These are not pickled. So what we're gonna do is add some sugar to them.
Okay. What does the sugar
doesn't
do?
need a ton. We're gonna sweeten it. It's gonna be a topping for the custard.
Ah.
So we'll add a little sugar. We'll add a little bit of salt to help break it down.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is some vinegar that's infused with dill.
Okay.
I know it sounds crazy, but we use it,
It does.
instead of
You just scared
lemon
me.
juice.
All right.
So it provides some acid. This is a method that's called maceration, basically where you use sugar and acid to break down something and let its own juices come out. It's sort of like a sweet marinated kind of thing.
Okay.
So we'll just leave this out at room temperature for a couple of hours, which will
Nice.
help get the juices going, and it creates almost like its own little gherkin syrup around everything.
What other things can you macerate with
You
the?
can macerate anything,
Really?
whatever you want.
Wow. All right. So our custard has finished on the stove.
Yeah. Yes.
You put it in some ramekins. I just learned that word too,
Yeah,
by the
see,
way.
there you go. Perfect.
I feel excited about that.
Yeah, you
All right.
got it.
So what's the next step with the dessert?
So the next step is just put all the pretty stuff on it and make it taste good. So we have the marinated gherkin mixture. We have some red vein sorrel, which is kind of like a tart sour herb. It has a lemony flavor.
Okay.
These are nasturtium leaves. It's a type of flower that has sort of a peppery, almost like a floral arugula flavor.
Ah.
And then we also put together a little dessert sauce called a coulis. It's essentially like just a flavored, sweet, lightly thickened dessert sauce. This is made with some of the skins from the gherkins for the green color, and also green coriander, which are the buds that turn into cilantro.
Cool.
We just take a little bit of this gherkin marinated mixture, place some on top, a little of the dessert sauce, kind of in some of the dead space. And then we'll add a couple pieces of the red sorrel, one of each colored nasturtium leaf,
Wow.
and then a small pinch of flake salt to finish. Just gonna sprinkle it around.
We gotta have the salt.
Gotta have the flake salt. So
All right.
that's it.
So let's start the salad.
First thing we want to do is make the dressings.
Okay.
So one of the main components is called yao po,
Yao
which
po.
is a Chinese style chili oil. It's not super chunky, so we use a fine chili powder. There's a little bit of MSG in there, and then also hot oil that we're gonna add to it. So essentially what we're gonna do is bloom the chili powder with hot oil.
Yeah.
And it
So-
makes a tasty little condiment. Here's the hot oil. So what we do is we just pour some in, and this will bloom the chili. It's about 300, 325 degrees, somewhere in that range.
Wow.
You don't want it so hot that you burn all of the chili powder.
Okay.
But you want it hot enough to draw the red color out. So just kind of like a gentle bubbling like that is sort of what we want. So we mix it all together. And I'm gonna set this aside to cool down somewhere safe and out of the way so we don't burn ourselves.
Awesome.
Because that's no fun.
That's not fun at all.
The next condiment that we're gonna do for it is a vinaigrette, sort of made with coffee and bene seeds. So it's almost like making a coffee tahini. We wanted that nutty flavor in this dressing, so we're just grinding the coffee right into the dressing.
Yes.
It's got some sesame oil, some water, a little sorghum, which is a syrup from sorghum grass, so kind of like molasses, but southern.
Yeah.
Well, I guess molasses is also southern, but this is like extra southern. And then this is a vinegar made with tomato as well that we use in the dressing.
All right.
All right, so it's a very easy dressing.
Well, when you say easy, it might be different. Like easy is relative.
It's a dump everything in the blender and let it do its thing kind of dressing. So I feel like, you know, relatively foolproof.
All right, cool. We'll take it.
Here's the vinegar, sorghum, bene seeds, coffee, and then if you want to put the top back on, pop it in place. Perfect. I'm gonna turn it on. Start breaking everything up, and then if you want to pour this into the top.
It's exciting. All right.
We go a little crazy at first, but then it'll settle down. Okay, so we just blend everything together, and you get this nice chunky vinaigrette. It's got tons of great flavor in it. And as it sets in the refrigerator, when you make it, you can keep it in the fridge indefinitely. It'll thicken a little. The fat from the seeds will thicken it up.
That's exciting.
Yeah, so then it ends up looking.
All right, so it ends up looking like this.
Yes.
Ah, I see. Ah, there you go. All right, so now that we have our coffee tahini vinaigrette, let's get into the salad.
Yes.
Salad.
So here we go. We're gonna go ahead and make it by using a variety of different heirloom tomatoes, some cherry tomatoes, some peaches. We're gonna use these two types of heirloom tomatoes. And if you wanna just go ahead and start, you know, putting them in.
Okay, is there a right or wrong way?
There's no right or wrong way.
I'm working on my plating.
Yeah.
So I didn't know, like.
We try to make it look like the Fortress of Solitude.
These two?
Yep, those two.
Okay.
And pull a couple leaves off of this mint too. We'll set these aside. And then when we run out of something, we have to change. So we're very adaptable that way.
Yeah.
But we kind of have to.
And that keeps it fun.
It does. Yeah.
I love it.
So this is a salt.
Okay.
So we'll season the tomatoes right in the bowl.
Okay.
Just a little bit of salt, very simple. And then this tahini vinaigrette.
All right.
And I'll come over with the yao.
Tell me when to stop. Is that good?
Maybe a little bit more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, perfect.
All
That
right.
looks great.
Perfect.
And then we got the yao po, which is still nice and warm.
Love it.
So we'll do a little bit of the chunky, yummy chilies, and then some of the infused oil.
Wow.
Pieces of mint on here, so feel free to add all of your little leaves in.
Okay. This is pretty.
Yeah, it's all the pretty little spring colors. We're gonna finish it with some more of the bene seeds to kind of reinforce that tahini flavor. This is an heirloom tomato and peach salad with coffee and bene tahini vinaigrette.
I can't wait to try that.
Yeah.
The moment I've been waiting for, I don't know about you, but I've been waiting for this, right? The main dish of the meal, 3-cup chicken. Talk to me a little bit about that, and let's start cooking.
Yeah, let's do it. So 3-cup chicken is a Taiwanese and Southern Chinese dish known for the 3 main ingredients in the sauce: soy, sesame oil, and sugar. We also add a little bit of vinegar to ours too for balance. Do you have that already heating up in a pot here? So this is the sesame oil, soy. We use tamari, so it's gluten-free actually. Vinegar and sugar. So So heat it up, and then we're gonna thicken it with a cornstarch slurry, which is equal parts cornstarch and water dissolved, so it makes this little broth like this. You bring any liquid to a boil, add this to it, and it'll thicken. In the meantime, what we're gonna do, this is chicken. We like to air dry them overnight so they get a little pellicle or a tacky sort of outer membrane that forms to allow seasoning to adhere to it better. They're deboned and de-skinned, and we're gonna do a method called silkening to it. Silkening. Which is used for tougher cuts of meat usually, but works great with chicken too. I'm gonna take a little bit of kosher salt and a little bit of sugar, some sesame oil, vinegar, and a little bit of tamari gluten-free soy sauce, cornstarch. We're essentially just gonna make a little paste with this. So you'll wanna let this sit for at least 30 or 40 minutes to kind of come together. We usually like to let it sit overnight before we use it. But that's silkening. You can do any pieces of meat you want like this.
Wow.
And it makes for a really nice kind of crispy layer. And then of course we'll deep fry it from there. We can also kind of work on this sauce. So this is the mixture. It's come up to a boil. This is what it looks like without the cornstarch.
Okay.
So I'm gonna bring it back to a boil. I'm gonna quickly add the slurry in, and you'll see the difference in the texture after we do that. Wow. We're also going to use the blender if you want to bring our old friend Mr. Blender back.
All right, Mr. Blender is back.
This is going to be part of the sauce as well. So if you want to add these chopped cucumbers, which are not traditional to 3-cup chicken, but we like to have fun, right into the blender with a little bit of water. You're going to add this spice blend, turmeric, nutmeg, spices like that.
All right, just dump this in there?
Just dump it in there.
All right.
Perfect.
Is that good?
That looks good. This is the sauce after we've thickened it with the cornstarch slurry. And we are going to add the contents of the blender right into here.
Got it?
That's that. It's going to be a little warm still probably, but so we're adding the chopped cucumber, the spices, all that stuff into the sauce.
All right, I'll let you do you.
And that's it. And it's done.
That's it.
So we're gonna fry some chicken. We're gonna toss it in this sauce.
Okay.
We're gonna dry fry some veggies, which just means there's no breading or anything like that. It's just a quick cooking in hot oil.
Yeah.
So we have some Asian broccoli we cut into a few pieces. We've got some roasted daikon radish. These are some really pretty red onions. The onions just came in season. And then we're gonna pick a few leaves of cilantro for garnish. And then also, because the traditional dish does have some chilies on it, this is a relish made with pickled chilies and the tops, the green part from the spring onions. So we're gonna go ahead and start cooking up the chicken.
All right, sounds good to me.
And I do have some already marinated chicken meat that's ready to go.
Perfect.
So we're just gonna drop it in the fryer.
Okay, so then the chicken
chicken's frying.
How long?
It takes about 4 to 6 minutes at 350. The thigh being deboned helps cook a little faster. And then with these vegetables for it, these will go really quick. We roast the daikons first to get them a little more tender so that we can then quickly fry them for color. And the onion we just cook from raw. Same thing, takes about 20-30 seconds in hot oil just to get a little warmth and color to it. While you're doing that, so this is the chicken after it comes out of the fryer.
Alrighty.
You can see it gets a really nice crispy color to it.
That's pretty.
We add a little bit of salt. And then also for this chicken, we are gonna add a little bit of that 3-cup sauce. And I'll give it a little mix around. Whole bunch of that delicious cucumber, tagine spiced 3-cup sauce.
Yes.
And I'll be right back with those vegetables for it. So these are the dry fried vegetables.
Oh,
We're gonna season these with a little spice blend that's kind of the same flavors of the tagine. And then a little bit of kosher salt.
Love it.
Take the plate made by Rebecca Cash, who's a local ceramic artist here in Atlanta.
Very nice.
So we'll do a little bit of the vegetables. We're gonna do a piece of the chicken, a little more of the vegetables.
Wow.
Another piece of the chicken.
Wow.
Maybe a little bit more vegetables.
Fun. Okay.
So it's already
Where do
looking
I add
pretty
my
good.
cilantro?
Now you can take those picked leaves of cilantro and just kind of lay them around on top,
Okay.
wherever you see fit.
All right.
And then we're gonna add just a little bit of this chili paste, which is fairly spicy, so we're not gonna try to blow people completely out of the water.
Yeah,
So add a little of that.
that's great.
We finish all of our dishes with Jacobson kosher salt, and that's it.
I love it. Are you ready to
three-cup
eat?
chicken. Yeah, let's eat.
All right, let's do it. All right, so this looks fantastic.
Thank you.
I'm so excited to dig in. I know dessert is usually last. How about we want to start with dessert?
Yeah, why don't we start with
All
dessert?
right, cool. Well, I'm excited. I'm actually, fun fact, I'm not really a dessert person.
Yeah, I'm not really either.
Really?
So that works out great.
Okay. But I'm excited to try this. Okay, that looks good. Oh my gosh.
We try to always make our desserts a little more sweet, savory, kind of hybrid because of that. So I don't really want to have like a sugar bomb that ruins your palate at the end of the meal.
Wow, this is very good.
Yeah.
I was like, I can taste the cucumber.
Cucumbers, yep.
Oh, wow. That's excellent. Okay. This is the salad.
This is, tomatoes and peaches. You gotta make sure you get a little of both the tomato and
All right,
peach
let's
on the
go
bite.
for that.
Grab the combo.
Okay, let me get a little peach here. Wow.
It's a little spicy, a little sweet.
A little? Oh my God.
Might have gotten a big chunk of the chili on that one.
All right, chicken.
Chicken.
Let's do it. Tell me a little bit about your upbringing. Like,
Yeah, so
when it comes to cooking, right? Do you have like a core memory of like your childhood growing up, having something amazing, tasting something amazing, and it leaving like a really big impression on you wanting to get into the industry?
I think this kind of like fusion sort of thing, for lack of a better term, is something that resonated with me growing up because my dad's Romanian, and then my mom is from New York, so like very multicultural place to grow up. We had a lot of takeout, and it was kind of like unusual stuff. You know, I'd grow up with like Indian food and Nepalese and Ethiopian.
Yeah.
You know, we just get food from like all over the place.
Yeah.
So I think that was kind of my biggest takeaway for me was, you know, being exposed to all these different cultures and cuisines at an early age made me, you know, kind of want to incorporate all this into my cooking
Yeah.
as I got older.
Yeah.
So something like this chicken is, you know, Chinese food. Growing up Jewish, you'd eat Chinese food on all the major holidays because that was all that was open. So kind of mixing these Jewish and Chinese flavors together.
That's really tender, really juicy. And I can kind of like taste all of the things that you described when we were kind of cooking it. So very good. We talked about a little bit off camera. You have a family, you're married.
Yes,
Who does the cooking at home?
it's my wife.
Really?
Pretty much 100%, yeah. By the time I get home from work after, you know, cooking for 12 to 15 hours a day, the last thing I want to do when I get home is
cook some more.
cook, yeah.
Yeah.
And she actually enjoys cooking.
Okay.
So she's always happy to sort of do the heavy lifting at home.
With that being said, did you like teach her how to cook? Did she already kind of know how to cook, or what?
No, she generally leans on me for the knife work.
Okay.
The stuff that's like chopping stuff that would take her 20 minutes.
So I am going to ask you a couple of what I call rapid fire questions.
Okay.
All right, I feel like you're gonna know the answer to them. You should be able to like handle this, okay?
These are deep history, trigonometry.
Yeah.
No problem, I got
Basically,
it.
you can figure this out. If you were a spice, what spice would you be?
Sporty spice was the first thing that came to mind, but I don't think you mean a spice girl. So maybe we're just gonna go with chili peppers.
All right, we'll take that. Okay, favorite junk food?
Taquitos.
Least favorite dish to make?
Anything dough-based, like pasta, noodles.
Favorite food to make?
Dry fried eggplant or dry fried pole beans, like Szechuan style.
If you had to choose one cuisine to eat for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Szechuan Chinese or sushi.
What is the weirdest food combination that you've ever created?
We had a bitter chocolate mushroom and pickled strawberry soup on the menu for a little while, and it was really good.
How do you feel about pineapple on pizza?
Love it. I love it. Everybody says you shouldn't put fruit on pizza, ignores that it's got tomato sauce, which is a fruit-based sauce.
Food that you are afraid to try?
Maybe not dog or human, but aside from those, I'll try anything.
All right, well, speaking of dog, you passed the test. Cheers to Little Bear.
Cheers, thank you very much.